I developed this video with the intent to help students with fractions. You see this numerator divided by the denominator. N stands for numerator, D stands for denominator. The denominator goes in the downstairs. We're going to talk about equivalent fractions and the related concept of least common multiple. Here are my fraction tiles. Notice what is equivalent to 1. I have 2 halves is equal to 1. 3/3 is equal to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 fourths is equal to 1. 5 fifths, 6 sixths, 8 eighths, 10 tenths, and 12 twelfths. One is equal to 1 over 1. 2 divided by 2, 3 over 3, 4 over 4, 5 over 5, 6 over 6, 8 over 8, 10 over 10, 12 over 12. A non-zero number divided over itself equals 1. Also notice, for example, 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 6 divided by 6 is 1. Fractions and division look at each other in the mirror, and they are really the same thing. The denominator, the bottom number, has a job. It tells you how many are in a whole. It could be a whole apple, a whole pear, or a whole cookie. The numerator, the number on the top, does the counting for us. It enumerates. So the denominator's job is to tell us how many in a whole, and the numerator counts how many of those we have. If I have 1 hat plus 2 hats, that's equal to 3 hats. And if I have $1 million plus $2 million, that's equal to $3 million. So what if I had 1/5 plus 2/5? What do you suppose that would be? Here's 2/5. And here's 1/5. Three-fifths, that's right. They are all green in color, and so you can add them. Now let's take a look at what 1/2 plus 1/3 would be. Well, one's pink and one's orange, so we really can't add them together. I learned this part of this video from Sister Ann Dominic from Avila College. Let's study the holy socks off of 1/2. Another name for 1/2. Let's compare it to 1. Well, they don't match up, so that's not right. And we can compare it to 1/2, but that doesn't buy us anything. Those are the very same thing. Now let's see what it looks like as compared to the thirds. Well, this is too little and that's too big, so that does not compare. Let's compare it to the fourths. They match up. Let's compare it to the fifths. They look like they almost match up, but they really don't. So let's compare it to the sixth. They are a good match. We'll put that up here with the rest of these. Then we have the eighths. They match up very well. We're going to take the tenths. They look very good together. And now finally the twelfths, because that's all I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 twelfths. Alright, now let's study the holy socks off of the third and see how it compares. Well, when we compare it to the 1, they don't match up. When we compare it to 1/2, they don't match up. We can compare it to a third, but that just gives us what we already have. So let's compare it to a fourth. And when we compare it to a fourth, it does not match up. So let's put that back. How about a fifth? Nope, they do not match. How about a sixth? Oh, there you go, they match up. How about an eighth? No, not gonna make it. Yeah, a ninth would if I have them, but I don't have any. Here's a tenth. They look very close, but they do not match up. And here's a 12th. And look at that. They do match up. Okay, so let's see here. We have count by twos for me. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Those are called the multiples of 2. And for the 1/3, it's 3, 6, and remember I didn't have a ninth. But if I did, it would have worked. I have 3, 6, and 12. Those are the multiples. So that's why when you're finding that least common denominator, you use those least common multiples to help you. Now, when we wanted to add 1/2 to 1/3, as I recall. So let's see here. The pink, there's no pink down here, and there's no yellow down here. There is the blue, and the orange is here. The thing they have in common is the blue. So I can take the blue. Another name for 1/3 is 2/6, and another name for 1/2 is 3/6, and I can add them together and get 5/6 for the answer. Okay, please notice these fraction tiles. 1/3 is equal to 2/6, which is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 twelfths. And 1/2 is equal to 2/4, which is equal to 3/6, 4/8, 5/10, and 6/12. So instead of using the tiles, if I were to use numbers to show this, it would look like this. Let me scoot this over so you can see the 6/12 better. Okay. Now I'd like to show you a way to compute this without pictures. To turn 1/2 into 4/8. So I'm going to multiply the 1/2 by 1. Anytime you multiply by 1, you get something that it's equivalent to. 2 times what gives you 8? Well, it's 4. So if I multiply the denominator by 4, I have to multiply the numerator by 4. And that's 1 times 4 gives you 4. Okay, so remember how we didn't have a ninth? Well, if we wanted to compute with numbers what the fraction that would be equal to 1/3 that has a 9 in the denominator, we could do that same thing. We could take 3 times what gives you 9. Well, it's 3 times 3. And if we do that down in the denominator, we have to do it up in the numerator because we're multiplying by 1. My 1 looks more like a monument, but anyway, we're going to multiply by 1. 1 times 3 would give you 3. So 1/3 would be equal to 3/9. Thank you very much for watching my video, and I hope it helped you some. Thank you.